Do
All
I
right,
need to sign a waiver for that?
no, we don't have to sign. All right, guys, welcome. Tonight we are so glad you are here. You are in for a treat because we have been on the last 10 minutes and I'm already laughing. But tonight we have a very special treat. Two of our favorite guys are on the call and they're going to be talking to us. But before I give them the mic, I wanted to tell you a little bit about why we decided to do this tonight. So I get asked all the time, is Plexus just for women? Because all people see a lot of times is just women posting and women talking about Plexus. And so there's this ideal that Plexus is only for women, and that could not be farther from the truth. Plexus is for everyone. It is for children. It is for men. It is for women. It is for everybody, young and old. And so I wanted to bring two of our favorite guys in tonight to talk about why they love these products, why they love this business, and why they love this company. And so, without further ado, I'm going to start. By the way, we have two Chris's on here tonight. So, this is not going to get confusing at all. We have Chris Amos and we have Chris McNichol. And so, you are going to hear from both of them tonight. So, we are going to start with Mr. Chris McNichol. Give him a round of applause. Chris, if you can unmute yourself, and I'm just going to ask you some questions and get us going. So, if you can unmute yourself, I think you are. There you go. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself for us.
So my name's Chris McNichol. I am 50 years old. My wife is Tanya McNichol, who is on here. We've been married for 26 years, been together for 30. She can't get rid of me. I'm stuck to her like glue. Um, and we've got three boys. We've got two that are in college. We've got one that's a sophomore in high school. So we have a very, very busy life with them. And yeah, so we've been with Plexus for about 9 years. Well, Tanya's been with Plexus for 9 years. I've been with Plexus for 8 years and 10 months because it took me a little bit longer to catch on. But yeah, so that's me.
All right, Chris, tell us a little bit about how you got introduced to Plexus.
So we were introduced to Plexus from a friend of ours who kind of is in the same boat with Tanya suffers from an autoimmune disease, and we were having some struggling times. And they were kind of in the same place and used Plexus and thought that it could help our situation. And from my perspective, um, I was very, very skeptical. I was like, oh no, you are not putting any of this stuff in your body until I research everything and we make sure that everything is legit. And so, I did my due diligence, asked questions, did a lot of research on all of the ingredients, did research on the company and how they produce these products, these supplements. And after a lot of hemming and hawing around, I was okay with her being able to try the supplements. So it was a lot of reading, a lot of research. I will tell you that. But in that, there is research out there about these products, about the ingredients of these products. So you can do your research. So that's how we got started. And once I saw the benefits that Tanya was getting from them, I was like, I'm getting older. I need supplementation as well. You know, so then I started as well.
Okay, so I love that. I love that you were skeptical and you did your research because a lot of men feel that way. They're like, I don't know about all this. So I love that you did your research and you were an advocate for your wife. But when she started the products and were loving them, and then you started taking them, tell me a little bit about what you found taking these products and what you have loved about it.
So I am a weekend warrior. I love absolutely beating myself up. So recovery is a huge part of my lifestyle, right? Because once whether it's a workout, whether it's a competition, whether, whatever you're doing, you have to rest and recover. That is probably one of the biggest benefits that I've seen in the fact that I sleep better. I recover better from my workouts. And we all know as men, after we hit that 30, 35 mark, I'm not saying that we decline. there is a sense with better with age, but we just have to work harder at recovering and be smarter about it, right? So with this, I feel like I sleep better. I feel like I recover from my workouts better because I'm sleeping better. Also, with how the supplements help my digestive system and my liver process stuff, it helps my body absorb the nutrients that I need to to work out, to compete, do everything that I want to do on the weekends, you know?
Okay, so tell us your I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but tell me your favorite product if you can pick just one.
So that's a hard one because I like all of them, right? So I love the, I'm going to have to compare them, couple it up. I love the Slim and I love the Active. So the Slim, number one, helps me throughout the day. Like you don't have those peaks and valleys. Like 10 o'clock, I'm not looking for a Snickers bar or, something to munch on. And the Active is, before I started these supplements, I would drink Monster Energy drinks, 5 Hour Energy drinks, and it's all about peaks and valleys, and you have these highs and these lows. And with the Slim and the Active, it is just a steady state of energy straight across the board. You're not munching, you're not seeking for that next caffeine high, and it's great.
Absolutely. Well, you found success with the products. Your beautiful wife found a huge amount of success with the products, and y'all will have to look up her story because it is just absolutely incredible. But with that whole process, Tanya, and I watched this because she obviously was very skeptical about this sharing any of this or telling anybody that she was doing this. But when you guys started sharing her story, you kind of fell on an accidental business. And tell us a little bit about what that accidental business has meant for your life and your family so far.
It's been a huge blessing. Because of the health issues that we endure, we're a one income family, and having 3 boys that play sports. If anybody is involved in travel ball, I will tell you, you need to take out a second and third and fourth and fifth mortgage. And it's hard. You want to provide for your kids as much as you possibly can, and you want to give them every opportunity in the world. And this has given us that opportunity because we were a one income family. It's given us the availability to pay for sports. It's been given us the availability to pay for our own supplements. Who else goes out there and goes to Walmart or CVS or Walgreens and goes and buys their vitamins off the shelf, right? You're still paying for it. And it's brought us into a community that we have made great friends. That's probably one of the best things. Money's great, but the community is awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Chris, is there anything else you want to tell us? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Chris is the Talladega Tire Man. And if you don't know what that is, you need to look that up. You will thank me later. But if he loves these products, just all the research that he's done and the fact that we know that he is such an exercise minded guy, I think we can trust that they are very good. But Chris, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I would want to add was, in the words of Dr. Hartman, who is the chief, I can't remember his title. He's the medical director who is over all of these supplements. Ask questions. Ask questions because we have the answers, right? If you have a question about the supplement, about how it works, about how you should take it, ask it because there are answers out there. And the way that we do research on what we provide, it's so clean. And in these days there is billions of nutritional companies out there that are throwing supplements on the shelf every day, right? And you don't know what's in there, right? and having the third party testing and all of the clinical data that is supported by Dr. Hartman and his team with all the research, it's awesome. It makes me feel so much better about what I'm putting in my body because I know that it's clean and I know that it's pure and it's doing what it's supposed to be done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing with us tonight. We truly appreciate it and value you, and you're a huge part of this team for sure.
And now on to the better Chris.
don't hype him up. Okay? All right. So now I have the pleasure of introducing my husband, Chris Amos. I'm going to let him introduce himself, though. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am Mr. Melissa Amos. My real name is Chris as well, like Chris said. I've got some years on Chris. I'll be 54 in September. So not much, but I think you're going to see a lot of the same parallels too to what Chris was talking about there. But we've been married 18 years, 18 wonderful years. Have two kids, a boy and a girl who are 16 and 14. Our 14-year-old is going on 30. She is amazing. They're both amazing, but just kids that we love and get so much joy out of. I'm in a great place in my life, I think. I'm a retired military officer who has transitioned to another career, and just in a great place in our life right now.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons.
So tell them, because I know your story, tell them how you got drug into Plexus, because I feel like that was kind of what happened.
Well, like Chris mentioned with their situation, we were at a point where we had young kids, and there's a little bit of age difference between Melissa and I. Just a little. Believe it or not, there's 12 years between us. So we didn't necessarily have kids later in life, but we had them when I was older, and the ebb and flow of energy was constantly there. What we were doing just wasn't working. We were tired of being tired. But when we delved down into it, we found out that we weren't taking care of ourselves in the right way. And we were at the age where we needed to start doing that. I was drinking Mountain Dews and Snickers bars on the way home from my commute, which is a little over an hour at the time when we first started. So I was coming home really ready. Chris was talking about the monster drinks. I had a Mountain Dew and a Snickers bar or Skittles on the way home. So that sugar high was really high when I got home. But right when I was driving the driveway, it seemed like my energy level was just blah. And the kids were like, yeah, let's do stuff, And so it is at a point where, like I said, we weren't, what we were doing was not working. We were going through some gastro issues.
I had IBS. I don't care. It was terrible.
I was not feeling like my normal self. Energy and what have you, the ups and downs. Brooks, our son, was going through some ADD issues at school at a very young age. And our daughter had boundless energy, not to mention this stuff going on. We had ball, we had dance, and things like that. And you had a friend who gave you a call and contacted you about Plexus. And we did our research, or she did her research, I should say, and looked into it and said, I think I'm willing to give this a shot. Like Chris, I was skeptical, mainly because I didn't have the information that I needed. And like Chris mentioned, there is so much information out there, we just not see it. So it's our fault for not seeing it and being out there or putting ourselves, or teaching or educating ourselves about the stuff, about gut health and just doing better. And that's the point in life we were at, where we realized in order to be the parents, the spouses, and just the people that we were at that stage in life, I was required to have a certain level of fitness in the military, of course, and naturally athletic person to begin with. And you jumped into it. Mm-hmm. And the rest is history. And I think you've told your testimony plenty of times where how it helps you almost a lot faster than we thought it was going to help us with the IBS, with my energy levels. Of Chris talked about having that steady, sustained level of energy that you want to have at a certain age. When we get older, we put a high value on rest, recovery, and just things like that. And it started working a lot faster than we thought it was going to work.
Right.
I
So
don't really know what type of level of expectations I had, but it was faster than what we thought it was going to be. That's
I can say you didn't really have a level of expectation other than you wanted to make sure that I could get my money back. I do remember that he said that. I have to put that in there because
yeah,
he
no,
said,
Chris
I
was
want to
saying.
make sure that you can get your money back. If you're going to do this, I want to make sure that you can get your money back. And of course, I told him, absolutely. There's like a 60-day money back guarantee or something. That's what I said to him at the time.
I remember that. Yeah.
So we didn't get our money back, clearly, because we're still doing this. But tell them, I know you said you have more energy now, but tell them some other things that we have seen or that you have seen from these products that you were maybe unexpected, or what do you love about these products?
I love the way it makes me feel. Chris was talking about how we're both be talking about the ebb and flow of energies, but we're both of us are naturally athletic people. But from a physical standpoint, that was important to us. But for me, just clear-headedness. The job I was in at the time required a lot of just constant, focus on some things that were pretty important. But recovery, it was a natural alternative to the grind of Motrin, ibuprofen, Tylenol, this type of stuff that we typically take when we're sore and working out, or going through injuries or recovering this and that. And that's the mental side of it, but the able to sleep and rest the way you're supposed to rest, just brought a whole new level of discipline into our lives.
Absolutely. And I will say he's about to be 54 and he is only on one small medication for high blood pressure that is genetic.
Yeah.
But that the doctors have told him that they are really shocked that he's on such a small dose because of the genetics and because of his age. So that's pretty impressive to me.
Actually got a great rate on some life insurance we purchased here recently too. So, but I was told it was great. So I'll take it, believe me.
So I know that you know what it's done for me, that, it's done so much for you just to be able to be the dad that you want to be the husband you want to be, and all that. But tell them what the business has meant to our family.
Wow. There's so much to be said about margin. And I think everybody on this call or everybody that will watch this or listen to it can agree that there's so much to be said about margin in your standard of life or your way of life and what you got going on, whether we with kids. Our daughter's a competitive dancer. Chris was talking about travel ball with the boys and this and that. I'd like to compare at some time, Chris, the comparisons of travel ball versus dance. I don't know. I'm not going to place any particular wager on who's paid more, but
we have another dance dad on this call.
Yeah.
He's probably shaking his head.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he just typed in the comments,
Okay.
dance. Dance wins.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We can prove it. I won't say we can prove it to Chris, but let's just agree that there's much, like I said, much to be said about margin when you have things that you want to provide for your family. We were on a government, military income, a single income. You were not working. You were a stay-at-home mom, but very motivated to do things for the family as well. And just the idea that you could do it while improving our lives and improving our health and wellness at the same time was extremely interesting to me. I think I think you guys talk about every now and then about the number of companies. Chris touched on. There's so many companies out there that call themselves health and wellness companies. Plexus is something else. I'd like to think they're a step above than anything I've ever seen. Definitely better than anything you'll find on the shelf, perhaps in any brick and mortar company. I would say their probiotics, to be specific, their probiotic is so much better. So yeah.
But what have you seen? I know you said it provides margin, but what are the things that we have gotten out of this business?
Like we talked about, or the progression of the just the success of this whole thing. It started out with paper products. Then we said, okay, let's just pay for this. And now we got our products paid for. Let's see if we can just get to the point where we can pay our car payment. We have more than one vehicle. Now we have 3. Now let's see if we can pay our mortgage. Got that. And then they even started paying for a vehicle. So we have a stipend for that as well. So it can be a very, very satisfying endeavor to jump into. It can give you so much more value to providing for your family and not having to live paycheck to paycheck or balance this off. We had a reasonable amount of credit card debt that needed to go, that was weighting us down like an anchor. And I'm sure some of you out there too can attest to that as well. But it has taken care of that. And we've been able to eliminate that in our life. There's value in that. And a lot of you would agree with me with your own situation, I'm sure.
What about, I'm just going to touch on this because a lot of people, I mean, they obviously value the money, but what about like the trips that you've been able to go on?
Very nice. Very nice. How many people get to say they go to Hawaii for free? How many people get to hear, numerous, keynote speakers and musical stars almost, 20 feet away, with however many people are at those conventions and leaders retreats and trips in a closed setting, being there just for Plexus. That in itself, speaks to the magnitude of what Plexus has been able to do for people from a health and wellness standpoint, but also,
for fun,
for a business, for fun.
Yeah. And I have to tell on him for a second, and he's probably going to be mad at me for doing this, but I have to tell on him because we have been to Hawaii so many times that this Mr. First World Problem said, when are they going to quit going to Hawaii? Let's do something else. Like, who says that? Who says that? So next year, Plexus is taking all the jewels to Alaska. And so I think he was thrilled about that. Not that we don't love Hawaii, because we do love Hawaii, but it was almost like, okay, now what's next? Like, what's next? And Plexus is always coming up with something new and fun and something that the guys like and that the women like. So thank you for sharing that with us. I will say that these are just 2 stories of men that have been, and I will tell you, I know Chris tells a ton of people, Chris McNichol, you tell a ton of people about this and share, and Chris will tell everybody. You didn't even mention this, and I said, you got to mention that, and he forgot, but he says, I don't know why someone would not want to do this business. Yeah. That's what he says all the time. Like, I don't know, why would they not want to do this? Why would they not want to do this? Like, you say that all the time.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about before the call actually started about you can't argue with the results. If you take them the way you're supposed to take them, they're going to work for you. They're going to work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And Plexus is not just for women.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, guys? Not just for women. Thank y'all so much for being on tonight, guys. Thank y'all so much for sharing, Chris. Thank you for hopping on even from Mobile on your trip. Thank you for being willing to talk and share your story. And guys, thank y'all for hopping on. And we are going to have this recording for you to share with your friends. So thank you, guys. Have a fantastic night.